Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we're going to take a look at what Gwoemul is. One of the most striking, unique, and monstrous creatures in horror cinema is, without a doubt, Gwoemul. A being born not from fantasy, but from human negligence and environmental pollution. A polluted river, a mutant creature, and a dysfunctional family willing to do anything to rescue a little girl. The Host is not just a monster story. It's a social critique disguised as biological horror. That's why in this video, I'll explain in detail the story and origins of Gwoemul. To do so, I'll summarize its story in the film. Then I'll talk about its physical appearance, its personality, and its incredible known abilities and weaknesses. The story of the Host, known by its original title Gwoemul, begins with an event that, although seemingly minor, triggers a large-scale environmental catastrophe. It all starts in the year 2000 at a U.S. military base located in Seoul, South Korea. An American pathologist working in the base's laboratory orders his Korean assistant to pour a massive amount of expired formaldehyde directly down the drain, ignoring warnings about its toxicity. This act of negligence directly contaminates the Han River, a vital water source that flows through the city. Although this event is presented subtly at the beginning of the film, it becomes the origin point of all the horror that follows. We jump ahead to 2006, several years after the chemical spill. In a shocking daytime scene, a mutant creature emerges from the waters of the Han River. The monster, the result of years of mutation induced by chemical pollution, reveals its existence by violently attacking civilians who were enjoying a peaceful day by the river. The creature's appearance is sudden, brutal, and bewildering. It runs, dives into the water, and then leaps back onto dry land to devour or drag away several people. Chaos takes over the area. During this attack, a young girl named Hyun-seo, daughter of snack vendor Park Gangdu, is kidnapped by the monster, which drags her away by its tail before submerging again. Her devastated and confused family initially believes Hyun-seo is dead. However, the story takes an unexpected turn when the girl manages to make a makeshift phone call from the depths of the sewers. Despite the poor signal, her words are enough for the family to cling to the hope that she is still alive. This is where the real journey of the Park family begins. Gangdu, his brother Namael, his archer sister Namju, and their father Hibong, a humble man who just wants to reunite his children and find his granddaughter. United by grief and a common goal, they decide to face both the creature and the system. Meanwhile, the Korean government, under pressure from U.S. authorities, responds with a disinformation campaign. Instead of directly confronting the biological threat, the authorities claim the creature carries a deadly virus that could cause an epidemic. This supposed plague has no scientific basis, but serves as an excuse to confine the Park family and other possible witnesses, silence voices, and control the public narrative. This part of the story acts as a strong socio-political critique. The film denounces how governments prioritize their image and international alliances over the truth and the safety of their citizens. Despite government surveillance, the Park family escapes from the hospital where they were being held to continue their search. Each member contributes their own skills, albeit clumsily and realistically, in the fight to find Hyun-seo. Meanwhile, the girl survives as best she can in an underground cavern where the creature hoards the remains of its victims. Despite the horror, Hyun-seo shows great mental strength, trying to escape and finding ways to evade the beast while protecting a smaller boy who is also captured. As the story progresses, the Parks face not only the physical monstrosity of Gwoemul, but also the institutional monstrosity that hinders every step of their search. Namael, Gangdu's brother, uses his skills as a former activist to outsmart the system, while Namju puts her Olympic archery talent to the test in crucial moments. In the final act, The climax takes place once again on the banks of the Han River. After many losses, chases, and confrontations with the authorities, the Park family finally locates the creature and confronts it directly. In a desperate and brave act, Gangdu rescues Hyenaseo's unconscious body. But sadly, it's too late. The girl had died protecting the young boy. Gangdu's grief is deep, but there's no time for mourning, as he must finish off the monster once and for all. With the help of his brother and sister, they ultimately kill the creature using fire and improvised weapons. The epilogue is intimate and melancholic. Gangdu returns to his small business, now accompanied only by the boy Hyeneseo tried to save. He adopts the child as his own. Although he has lost his daughter, he has found a new purpose, and in the midst of the disaster, a new family is born. And now that we've covered its story in depth, I want to talk to you about Gwoemul's physical appearance, what we know about its personality and behavior, and I'll explain its incredible known abilities and weaknesses. The creature known as Gwoemul has an aberrant appearance, the direct result of years of mutation caused by prolonged exposure to toxic waste. Its physiology is clearly inspired by tadpoles, but with grotesque deformations that make it a nightmare both in water and on land. It measures approximately 10 to 12 meters in length, though its size may vary depending on its posture and movement. Its body is elongated, curved, and flexible, allowing it to maneuver with surprising agility, especially in urban and aquatic environments. Its skin is grayish, moist, and slippery, resembling that of a sick fish or a deformed frog, covered in some areas with darker patches that might suggest the presence of chemical burns or even partial necrosis. It has no visible scales, but rather a soft, viscous texture, giving it a more organic and less reptilian appearance compared to other cinematic monsters. One of Gwoemul's most terrifying features is its asymmetrical head. Its enormous mouth takes up almost its entire face and opens sideways like that of certain abyssal fish. It is filled with sharp but disordered teeth that seem to have grown without any coherent evolutionary pattern. This jaw is not only used offensively, but also allows it to violently capture and drag its prey. In terms of limbs, Gwoemul possesses a grotesque mix of terrestrial and aquatic adaptations. It has at least 4 functional legs that it uses to run, climb, and swing from elevated structures like a deformed ape. Some of these limbs vaguely resemble atrophied or mutated human arms, with elongated or fused fingers, reinforcing the disturbing sensation that this creature is, in part, an involuntary human creation. One of its most distinctive attributes is its long, prehensile tail, which it uses like a third arm. This tail not only helps it maintain balance and swim at high speed, but it also uses it to catch and drag victims, as it does with Hyeneseo at the beginning of the story. Its ability to hang upside down from bridges and structures using its tail suggests powerful musculature and impressive motor coordination. Its eyes, small in comparison to the size of its head, are located on the sides and seem to be more adapted to detecting movement than detail, similar to amphibious predators. It does not blink or show any evident emotion, which adds to its unnatural and unsettling presence. Contrary to what one might think upon seeing it, Gwoemul does not act out of hatred, cruelty, or bloodlust. Its behavior more closely resembles that of a wild, instinct-driven animal, simply trying to survive in an environment it doesn't understand. Its actions are primarily driven by hunger and the need for protection. This creature is not an evil mastermind or a monster that enjoys the pain of others. It is rather a confused and traumatized beast that reacts aggressively to stimuli. From the first recorded attack in the Han River, Gwoemul shows a pattern of opportunistic hunting. It takes advantage of moments with high human concentration to dive in, using its speed and brute strength to capture prey. It doesn't isolate its victims or hunt with surgical precision. It lunges violently and takes whoever it can. Afterward, it stores some of these bodies in its underground hideout, a dark and damp sewer-like space, where it keeps food like a scavenging animal or a predator that knows it can't hunt constantly. This food-gathering behavior strays from instant cannibalism and suggests a rudimentary survival strategy. Even when it keeps Hyun-seo alive for a while, it doesn't appear to do so consciously, but simply because it hasn't killed her yet. It leaves her in that dark place with a young boy, as if it doesn't know what to do with them yet. This shows that Gwoemul doesn't operate with human logic or a clear sense of purpose. It simply acts. The monster also shows no signs of communication with other beings, not even with its environment. It does not appear to have a fixed territory beyond its hideout, nor signs of social intelligence, language, or hierarchy. It also doesn't exhibit curiosity or play, behaviors commonly associated with intelligent species. Its movements, attacks, and actions are more reflexive and animalistic than they are reasoned or strategic. It's also important to note that it doesn't discriminate between adults and children, nor does it show signs of selective cruelty. To Gwoemul, everyone is the same, either food or a threat. Unlike other cinematic creatures that act with spite or domination strategies, this monster is more akin to a shark than a villain, and that makes it even more tragic. As a creature born from toxic mutation, Gwoemul not only possesses a strange anatomy, but also an astonishing set of physical abilities that make it a lethal threat both on land and in water. Despite its instinctive and animalistic nature, its attributes place it far above any common predator. Gwoemul is an amphibious creature by nature, and water is its ideal territory. Its elongated body, muscular prehensile tail, and smooth, slippery skin make it an exceptional swimmer. It can burst from the Han River with such devastating speed that, in a matter of seconds, it has already captured several victims and submerged again. This ability allows it to perform lightning-fast attacks, giving no time to react, like a mutated crocodile or shark, but with much more unpredictable movements. Additionally, it can hang, swing, and climb structures as if it were a deformed primate. It uses its tail not only as a counterbalance, but as a functional limb capable of gripping bridges, beams, roofs, and walls, allowing it to hang upside down, spin in the air, and launch itself from great heights with precision. This versatility makes it extremely difficult to capture, as it can escape both through water and from above. Despite its colossal size, Gwoemul displays impressive physical agility. It can run at alarming speed across uneven terrain, jump with precision, and perform evasive maneuvers that belie its size. At key moments, we see it dodging gunfire, ramming vehicles, and changing direction within seconds. Its moist, viscous, and thick skin acts as an organic armor, resistant to blunt force, low-caliber gunfire, and extreme conditions. It doesn't show visible injuries easily, suggesting moderate regenerative abilities, or, at the very least, a high pain tolerance, making it nearly impossible to defeat using conventional means. However, like all man-made mutated creatures, Gwoemul also has flaws, gaps in its design, limitations that ultimately become exploitable by the true protagonists of this story, an ordinary family facing the impossible. Gwoemul lacks strategic intelligence. Its actions respond almost exclusively to immediate stimuli like hunger, pain, or threat. This absence of tactical thinking makes its movements predictable through careful observation. Throughout the film, the protagonists manage to manipulate it precisely because it acts in a repetitive and unthinking way. Although its outer skin is tough, Gwoemul is vulnerable to fire and well-aimed physical attacks. In the climax, a Molotov cocktail weakens it, and an improvised spear pierces its palate, revealing that its internal tissues are not as protected as its exterior. Moreover, it doesn't learn from its mistakes. It can be wounded multiple times and still attack in the same way without changing its strategy. It doesn't use the environment to its advantage. It doesn't anticipate ambushes, nor does it plan escape routes. It is brutal, yes, but not cunning. This, in the long run, makes it predictable and therefore vulnerable to clever and persistent enemies. And that's everything we know so far about Gwoemul, the mutant creature that emerged from the depths of the Han River in the film The Host. Personally, I think it's one of the most striking and symbolic monsters in South Korean cinema. Grotesque, fast, unpredictable, and at the same time, tragically the result of human negligence. Its design, its movements, its animalistic behavior, everything is so well done that it's hard not to feel a mix of fascination and horror. But now I want to know what you think. Had you heard of Gwoemul before watching this video? Do you think a creature like this, born from pollution and indifference, could ever exist in our world? And if something like that did one day emerge from the water, do you think we'd know how to face it, or would we repeat the same mistakes? Leave your answers in the comments, and let me know what you thought of this story. Would you like us to analyze more creatures from Asian cinema? I'm always open to your suggestions. As always, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, share it with your friends to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming stories I've got prepared for you.